Okay, in this presentation, we're going to look at data table, and I'm going to do a few exercises on an inbuilt data set called empty cars. I'm using Azure notebooks, and as a result of that, that's it. Yeah. So I'm just going to call the library data table, library.data.table. I'm also going to use the greeter package because I'm going to use the pipe operator. I'll sort of explain that shortly. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is just actually convert empty cars into a data frame or a data table, and how you do that, convert a data frame into a data table, just call it or apply the command data table. I'm going to save it as DT. Now, what I'm going to do here, there we go, and there we go. And what I'm going to do there is have a quick look at it there. That's the first 10 cases, and let's have a look at the last 10 cases. There are 32 rows. There we go. Now, it doesn't actually print them out, but that's the last 10 there, okay? Or it doesn't give you print out the row numbers there. So, which is something I actually like. It makes the tail command very useful. But anyway, not to worry. Now, the reason I have the dot print there is just actually at the end to make it the results print out, because in Azure notebooks they don't print out automatically. I think to do with base R, but not with the R console that everyone knows and loves. Okay, so that's it there. Just as a remark, we have, let's get the summary of that actually. Summary. Print out the summary there. We have 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder cars. Okay, that's a grouping structure for that's the groupings for the cylinder, which is actually a factor. It comes across there as numeric, but it's actually a factor. So let's shut that down. Now, just double check. Class of DT, our data is a data table, obviously, and it also has the properties of a data frame. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just talk about this. .n, or n actually, you can actually sort of rationalize as, it's sort of like the population size, okay, where a small n is the sample size, okay. So it's essentially a count, okay, or a population size, okay. So that's how you might verbalize it here, okay. And we're also going to look at a little grouping structure here. Cylinder, okay. Now, dot cylinder is actually just to make a list, actually. So you'll get used to this syntax here after a while. But just for now, what we're going to do here is say by equals cylinder. So essentially, we're going to impose a grouping structure of cylinders. Actually, we're going to work in terms of cylinders as a category, okay. So how many is in each category of cylinders? Okay, we have 4-cylinder cars, 6-cylinder cars, and 8-cylinder cars. How many do we have of each? DT, we have no row operation there, so we leave that alone. We want just a count and a grouping operation. So let's count them up. There we go. So we have 7 6-cylinder cars, 11 4-cylinder cars, and 8 6-cylinder cars. Let me start again. 7 6-cylinder cars, 11 4-cylinder cars, and 14 8-cylinder cars. Okay, great. Now, this next command is just to actually sort of do something very similar. So I'm just going in baby steps here. I'm just putting this in brackets. Okay, and putting another dot there. Okay, so it's what I have highlighted there is only a little bit. Have this in brackets. Okay, it actually does the same thing. Okay, now. What we're going to do here is, there's a reason for that. Why we're going to do that shortly is because we can expand whatever is in these brackets out. Okay, so in this case we only have one item, but here we have the count in each for each the number of each type of cylinder car, and we're also going to have the mean weight here. Okay, so we're going to actually sort of build up a much more thorough report. Okay, now also what we're going to do is, this time rather than cylinder, actually, what I'm going to do here is use 2 binary variables in the data set, VS and AM. Okay, so rather than the 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, and 8-cylinder cars, I'm going to have combinations of these binary variables here, VS and AM. Okay, now it's probably not really a useful analysis because we might only have 1 or 2 instances in each category, but we'll give it a go anyway. Just to emphasize that you can actually, it's actually used to sort of demonstrate the point of this dot bracket business, okay? That you can have multiple items inside those brackets, okay? And it actually just sort of like concatenates them. So let's have a look at that. There we go. VS and AM. Okay, we have 6 cylinders in, or sorry, 6 in the VS equals 0, AM equals 1. Okay, and that's the mean weight. VS equals 1, AM equals 1. We have 7 cars, and the mean weight is 2.02. VS equals 1, AM equals 0. There's 7 cars. The mean weight is 3.194. And VS equals 0, AM equals 0. There's actually 12 cars, and the mean weight is 4.1. Straightforward enough. Now, so let's do some other things here. That's actually just a nice little summary report, and that's sort of fairly similar to the group by and summarize from dplyr. Okay. Now, a couple of other things we can do. Print out the next to last column, so we can use this .n as a index for indexing. Okay, there we go. And we can sort of use, so we can use this is actually sort of logical indexing that would be common to data frames. So this is not actually specific to data table, because I think this would sort of pretty much apply in data frames as well. But it just prints out all the 4-cylinder cars and 6-cylinder cars. Okay, so that's it. The in operator, which is sort of like set theory. If the cylinder value is in this set, true or false. So if it's true, it gets picked. Okay, handy to know that stuff. It's a little bit off topic, but it's handy to know. What we can do here is DT, the average miles per gallon and the average weight. Okay, let's have a look at that. It's gone off shot. Apologies. Now, oh, and let's see what that looks like when we print it out. There we go. Gives you just the average for 2 variables. That's all. Very straightforward enough. What you can do actually is, now this is like really putting the boat out. Just for the 4-cylinder cars and 6-cylinder cars, what is the average weight then? Okay, can we do that? Okay, now, so that's for the 4-cylinder cars and 6-cylinder cars. We know group by there. Okay, so you can put that in, but it just it actually starts to get very clunky very fast. So just for the 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder cars, that's the average weight. Okay, and average miles per gallon. So I'll just take that out. Okay, this is going back to all of them. Okay.